showed up. What are you so upset about? They're just not up to the caliber of Toronto just yet. Nothing to be upset about. We're still loyal fans of this team, aren't we? Oh no, I was booing Leafs fans right back after they decided for whatever reason to boo Ryan O'Reilly every time he touched the puck tonight. It's not like he got drafted by them, got developed by them, got loved by them, and led them on to think that he was going to stay. And then he left at the last minute like somebody else we know. Preds lose 4-0 to the Toronto Maple Leafs on Saturday night on Hockey Night in Canada inside Scotiabank Arena in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. They snapped their 3-game win streak, and despite a valiant effort by their backup netminder, this team just doesn't have it in them to take that next step needed to be considered more respectable in this league amongst teams just yet. Preds shut out for the first time this season, for the third time all time against the Leafs, second time by the score of 4-0. Before I go any further, in doing this Preds fan reaction video tonight, I want to express all the love in the world and all the prayers I can send possible to Metro Nashville, to my loyal subscribers who may be watching this, affected by this, and to your families or anybody else. I hope you are all safe, and I pray for all your family and friends, and I hope this video can serve as a temporary distraction from the storm. Back to the recap. Second back-to-back of the season for the Preds. Second in as many as a week. I was a little surprised that Kevin Lankinen got the start considering the caliber it is the Leafs, but hey, it worked last time to give Lankinen the first game and Saros the second game to pick up the slack. Lankinen lost the first time last week, and then Saros got the back-to-back, so hopefully it works with the team a little tired that your number one netminder might pick up the slack and get you the W tomorrow, but we'll deal with that on Sunday. As for this team right now, this is game 27 of the season. This team is near the top of the league in games played right now, and it is showing in their play, especially tonight on the road away from home, how exhausted they are. That, man, it's going to be so good for this team and the legs of these players when they have consecutive days off so they can mentally and physically recover, including next week when they'll have 2 consecutive days off for the first time in weeks. As for the roster coming into this game, Jeremy Lauzon, thank you hockey gods, is safe and good to go for this game, and no worse for the wear from that cheap slap shot that Austin Watson targeted at his knees. I know I said his face in a moment. I just had to get the video out, and I didn't know that it actually was his knees. I just reacted thinking that he was worried about his face because of a high-powered slap shot coming at him. Fortunately, the NHL Department of Player Safety fined him the maximum amount. Yes, I know low 2000s is measly sum, but it's in the CBA. But I thank God the NHL Department of Player Safety went after him for something. Maybe that could be tweaked moving forward. Austin, please be better. In other roster news, Alexander Carrier has returned to the lineup, and thankful Preds Nation is for that, because it looked like he was going to be out a lot longer after what happened to him in that Minnesota game. And for the first time since November 11th, Cody Glass is now back in the lineup. The Preds roster finally returning to health so that maybe they can bond fully and help Milwaukee have a full roster of not guys called up to the parent team and help them go on a longer playoff run this year. Can I say one more thing about the Preds roster right now before I really get into this video? Can Dante Febvre please be back in the Preds lineup in Buffalo tomorrow? Like, I understand, even though some Preds fans disagree with it, I understand Luke Schenn being in the lineup. You know, you want to pay him his respect, you want to give him time to try to get his butt into gear, and you want him to play against his former team. You don't disrespect one of your players on your roster like that, especially because Andrew Brunette used to be a player and he was there. He's been there. But considering that he wasn't that great tonight on defense, put Fabro back in the lineup tomorrow, please. Now, when you think about this game as a whole, other than the first period, was it really a game for two teams at all? Or was it just practice for the Leafs, and we were just their black aces. Preds in a scoreless game with the Leafs. Outscored only slightly, 9-7 after one, but then it went all downhill after that. Preds kill off a Leafs penalty near the end of the first, and it takes until the first for me to finally click in my brain. It's like, are Leafs fans booing Ryan O'Reilly? Ryan O'Reilly, a Southern Ontario kid, probably grew up a Leafs fan, and even played for them a little bit to try and help them win a cup, even though they only went past the first round in the spring. But yeah, go ahead, Leafs fan. After the stress that is playing under Leafs Nation, yeah, you go ahead and boo him when he did nothing, and I mean nothing, to deserve it. Stay classy. That segment, not all of you, because I don't want Preds Nation to ever get painted with that same brush. That portion of Leafs fans who think it's okay to boo Ryan O'Reilly, stay classy. I would have rather much had the first period continue into the second and third period, but obviously this is the Leafs and this is the tired Preds we're talking about as we head into the second period. Second period, and from beginning to end at the final horn, this is where the Leafs start to take control of this game. In a period where the Leafs outshot the Preds by a 13-6 margin, there is only so much backup Kevin Lankinen can do to try and will this team to victory, because he can't leave his crease in the course of play. But finally, the dam starts to crack and will eventually break, but it starts just under 6 minutes left to go in the second period. Bad turnover. Let's say it was Luke Schenn. If it wasn't, then sorry, this is what your rep that you're slowly beginning to build through 27 games has gotten you. Bad turnover. Timmins for the Leafs sends in David Kampf with speed as he's able to split between Ryan McDonagh and Juuso Parson, who try as they might to halt his progress, but Kampf is able to get in there, roof it past Kevin Lankinen, and open the scoring. Leafs 1, Preds nothing. Just over 2 minutes later, Leafs add to the damage. Leafs in transition into the Preds zone. You've got Austin Matthews over to Nylander, back to Matthews, a couple whack away. I don't know what Ryan McDonagh was doing there, not tying up Matthews to prevent the score. Matthews is too talented not to miss that empty net as Lankinen tries to scramble over, but it's in a net before he can do anything, and the Leafs are up just like that, 2-0. Can this team simply flip a switch in the third period and make it respectable? Apparently not. Good thing for the Preds in that final period is they didn't allow anything offensively by the Leafs until late, when the game was pretty much dead and buried. Bad thing for the Preds, they only managed 5 shots on goal for that third period when they're trying to come back in a game. One highlight that kind of stood out for me late in the third period was when Luke Evangelista tried to make a rush happen along the board, and he tried to speed by Jake McCabe, but Jake McCabe pushes Evangelista into the board rather roughly, a little bit too excessive if you ask me. There was no penalty on the play for that, but instantly coming to his teammates' defense, which I love to see from this team, not letting things go when they shouldn't have been as rough. Well, here comes Kiefer Sherwood, and him and Jake McCabe trade fisticuffs and a few words, probably both going off for fighting majors. Under 5 minutes left to go in the game, Preds pinching a little bit too much, trying to create something of offense, resulting in a 2-0 going the other way for the Leafs. Matthew Nice gets hooked by Ryan McDonagh. Thank God it wasn't a penalty shot, because knowing this team's luck right now, it probably would have gone in. We delayed the inevitable on the power play. Preds pinching again. Odd man rush going the other way. Same song and dance. This time, the Leafs, the puck winds up on Austin Matthews' stick. His second of the game. Beats Lankinen. Leafs in cruise control now. Up 3-0. A failed power play late by the Preds with Lankinen sitting on the bench. The Leafs are able to pick the puck up. Noah Gregor, shorthanded, puts the exclamation point on this capper. Leafs rout the Preds 4-0. Again, Preds Nation, much like the Minnesota blowout last week at home, a game like this, as long as it doesn't become repetitious and a pattern, after consecutive games, you just have to toss it up and throw it away. This team is clearly exhausted from the number of games they played. Go look at the NHL standings and filter by games played. This team is like 6 overall, I think, in total games played. And they still have to play tomorrow, Tuesday, then the back-to-back Friday and Saturday. And then the week after that, they'll play 3 more games right up until Christmas. Rest up on the short flight to Montreal. That should be pretty much at this time. You should already be there, I would assume. Get your rest in your nice Montreal hotel room. Make the lineup changes tomorrow, Bruno, that we all know you can and should make, along with Saros starting tomorrow. And we can forget that this game, was it a game in Toronto, ever happened after tomorrow. Not much else really to say after this. I'm just glad at this point that this fan base is a lot more calmer after the 5-10 start, knowing what this team is capable of and not capable of, and that this team is playing up to their capabilities and just letting the season play out as it should, knowing that they're always going to give their full effort. So that's it for this video. Thank you very much for watching. As always, click a like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really like it. You can find my social media by clicking on a channel name. Tell all your friends about Redemption. And lastly, it bears repeating, I hope my Preds fan reaction video tonight can serve as a nice distraction for my loyal subscribers in the Metro Nashville area. I pray for the safety of you all and your extended families at a time like this.